people don't take men's vulnerabilities seriously, especially liberals. I've always considered myself an old-school liberal in the British sense, but liberals and the left seem to have a real blind spot with men, a complete empathy void. Men get lumped together as one dominant bloc riding high on privilege. But a lot of regular guys, not the genuinely privileged few at the top, are having a really hard time in this economy. Just look at the dire mental health and substance abuse rates, or the educational collapse of white working class young men. And now men have been telling me that, as odd as it might sound, they feel like victims of discrimination thanks to DEI. They feel even more anxious and worthless. Polling we've done for this podcast through JL Partners backs this up, exposing for the first time the widespread impact DEI has had on men's mental health, career prospects, and willingness to speak freely. The data shows nearly half of all white men, 46%, are self-censoring, too scared to speak freely at work. The mental health of nearly 8 million white men in the UK has taken a hit because of DEI. In US terms, that would be equivalent to 38 million men who are suffering over fears of doing or saying the wrong thing. Whilst more than 6 million UK men say they've lost out on career opportunities because they're white and male. It's perhaps no wonder that there's strong agreement that the next generation of young men will be worse off than the current one, with 49% agreeing and just 22% disagreeing. Of course, things had to change. Most men would readily accept that any prejudice based on gender or race has to be stamped out and was long overdue. I couldn't agree more. Here's the nub of it all that gets to the heart of this series. It's the way diversity, equity and inclusion has been rolled out that's so bogus. It's not just some office do-goodery. It's a multi-billion-dollar business rooted in a radical, oppression-obsessed ideology that disregards the values many of us have always cherished: fairness, free speech, meritocracy, due process, a basic humanity to others. That disregards men. To call any of this out, though, is to risk being ostracised.
Ostracism is actually a very painful, both physically and psychologically. It's actually hardwired into us to react in that way because it's a sort of evolutionary thing to save us being outcast from the group that will keep us safe, if you like. If you're in a group, you're fairly safe. If you're outcast, you're not. And there are predators who will have you for breakfast. So to be ostracised is a really, really bad experience. And of course, nobody wants it. Nobody wants to be cancelled, and so they will keep quiet.